you. Thank you. That's all I can say is you are a linchpin of this show, and I don't know what I'd do without you. I can't do it without you. So check out APS Radio News, guys, and APS Radio, classic rock and oldies all day long. That's all you got to do. Is that sometimes you just need that. You need to just relax and listen to some oldies and tune out the madness. And I want to thank. I got a couple of patrons. That's what I'm looking up here, which just signed on, and I was very surprised and happy. Let's see, Patreon. On. Thank you. Holy moly. Carl. Thank you, Carl, for becoming a patron at patreon.com/Tara I thank you, Danielle. Oh my God. I mean, I got 3 patrons here in a couple of days, and it really blew me away. Thank you, Max Roy, for becoming a patron at patreon.com/Tara So Max Roy, Daniel, and Carl. Yay. Hello. You really made my day, guys. I have to thank you. I can't thank you enough, because it means that the message is getting out there. We're connecting. This show is connecting with people, and I'm glad to do it, because I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I don't know what I'd do. I would really be depressed without you guys. So thank you so much. All right. And if you can, subscribe to my Substack. That's enough for the plugs. Traitor Trump is a disgrace to humanity, to decency, to you. And we only have we have a tight hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I might go over a couple of minutes, but they can speak to me about that after the show, because I was late. So, but I don't really mean to do this to you, but I guess we have to. Traitor Trump, he started an illegal and unconstitutional war with Iran based on nothing. I mean, they don't even bother to lie. There's revolving excuses. I think we were going to be attacked one day. They had evil thoughts. It's not regime change, but the regime certainly changed, and they're a bad guy, right? It's sort of like the Iraq War. He gassed his own people. He's a really bad dude. He doesn't like the Israelis. I mean, this is something that Benjamin Netanyahu has wanted to do for 40 years. But lucky him, the disgraceful Americans who hate democracy and hate their fellow Americans put this baboon back in office. Someone who could be easily played. That's all you have to do. And then it's the perfect storm, because he needs a distraction from the Epstein files, from the fact that he raped children. Okay, this is where we are at in this country. And we have a Republican Party that doesn't give a shit that their standard bearer raped children, and they don't care whether he's lawless, the illegal wars he pushes us into. Congress at this point, it's like the end of the last days of the Roman Republic. Our Congress is nothing but, it's just a performance of an co-equal branch of government. The Republicans have completely acquiesced. They have abdicated their roles in governance. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there. Well, I do know. They're grifting, because the Republicans don't get into office to make the trains run on time. They're not there to make your life easier. They're there to make their own lives easier. And they're disgusting. And I keep thinking of the Republicans, because they keep asking them about the Epstein files. And the new line is, well, Trump's been exonerated, because he keeps repeating that. I've been exonerated. I've been exonerated. He hasn't been exonerated. And exonerated from what? You want to name it? You want to name it and shame it? Traitor Trump? How about you, Republicans? And then they just repeat that. James Comer, and what's the other? Oh, Nancy Mace. Shamefully. She's supposed to be one of the good ones now, as in regard to the Epstein file. She's not one of the good ones. She's unhinged. They're all mentally ill. MAGA is a mental disease at this point. And never stop repeating that. MAGA is a mental disease. It really is. Because if I have to tell you, doing this show, I get contacted by maggots sometimes. And I think if any one of them ever had anything interesting to say, if they had anything that added to the conversation or would make me and us understand why, what is it about the baboon? What is it they get out of this? Maybe it would be an interesting conversation if they had anything to say, if they contributed to the conversation. But all they say is MAGA, or they'll say Trump is your president. That's what somebody just wrote on one of the feeds. Trump's your president. Deal with it. That's a common comment that I get. They're all repetitive, regurgitating of nothing, of no. It's just empty calories of bullshit. Trump's your president. Deal with it. And we are dealing with it. We're all dealing with it. In fact, the entire fucking planet is dealing with it. Thanks, traitor. Thanks, moron, for empowering that piece of dirt. Because, what does that say about you? Trump's your president. Deal with it. It's just another example that they have nothing to offer. And it's all about annoying other people. That's why they put him in office, which says everything. They just want to annoy people. Why don't you just take a shit on the desk, on the Resolute desk? Okay? That would annoy people, and at least it would be more honest, an honest representation of what's going on. The indecency, the assault on everything. And so what I want to talk about today is this monster, the baboon, of course, deflecting from the war he started illegally without congressional approval and public support. He can't even hold it together for a speech to pretend like he gives a shit that 6 service members have already lost their lives to this madness, to this illegal adventure in a foreign land that they promised. These fucks promised. They ran on peace, right? Well, vote for peace. Kamala Harris will have us in World War III in a month. I'm the man. I'm the vote for peace. Vote for me. Go fuck yourselves. And we all knew it was a lie. Of course. Traitor Trump doesn't open his mouth without a lie spilling out. It's not even a noun, a verb, and a lie. It's just a long litany of lies. That's all he has. It is a repugnancy. There is a cancer in the body politic. There is a cancer on earth, and we're looking at it. We're looking at the horror of sociopathy, of people who have no respect for themselves. Because, if you have respect for yourself, you don't give somebody who has no respect for you power. You don't give them the power to influence your life or do anything to your life. You get them the F out. You contain them like the cancer that they are. You don't empower them. Okay, but let's listen to Trump while my heartbeat level stabilizes.
See that nice drape? When that comes down right now, you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors, because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term.
Pick them. Why don't
I
you
always like gold.
use the
But I think
cord
we can save a
and
lot of money. I just saved
wrap it around your
curtains.
neck, legally
But,
and peacefully?
And it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it because I built many a ballroom.
You
I believe it's going to be the most
disgusting
beautiful
waste of
ballroom
life.
anywhere in the world. And when you hear all that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly.
Ha ha ha! What
She
are
said,
you
will the
laughing
pile
at?
drivers ever stop? You know, they go from 6 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Can you imagine?
Oh, I can't.
You know what? To me, that's a beautiful
What
sound. She
are
doesn't
you
like it. I love it. You know what?
laughing at?
To me, other than here, because we're donating it, not a penny to the taxpayer.
Oh,
It'll be
thank you, my
Under
lord.
budget, ahead of schedule. It'll be 400 million or less. Most people say 400 million or more.
You
No, it'll be
piece of
less.
shit.
But when I hear that sound, that beautiful sound behind me,
Oh, go
it
fuck
means
yourself. I can't.
money,
It's going to be a
so
lot
I
of
like it.
cursing
But my wife
tonight.
isn't
Today.
thrilled.
I'm sorry.
She said, "This is
My
getting
wife
crazy."
isn't- no,
I
she
said,
said
"Don't worry
shit to
about it.
you.
We'll be all finished up in a few months."
Because she's not living with you.
But now, for the reason that we're gathered this morning to recognize the
He's giving out the Medal of Honor. Okay, then now back to this show, back to this bullshit. I'm giving the Medal of Honor to people who, I don't know, from somebody getting a Medal of Honor from somebody who has no honor. How dare they laugh at this, right? That's what strikes me when I watch this. The only reaction to that. First of all, what are you fucking doing there? You know? At this point, this is what has to happen. Let the maggots go bask in the dear leader's sun. The normal people of this planet need to ostracize this cancer and stop giving it the attention. I know that it can't help itself because it is a black hole of attention-sucking need and greed that can never be satiated. But what does it say about us? You know, of course, and this is what the corporate media, another example of how they have failed us. Why are they even asking questions of this baboon, like as if he's sincere, as if this excuse or the revolving and evolving excuses for this illegal and unconstitutional war are sincere. Like this is a sincere thing that this piece of dirt did. And he can't even keep it together for one stupid ceremony. Talking about operations in Iran to his nice drapes. Bragging that he personally picked the gold. I like gold. You know, I mean, what the fuck is going on? We are all the narcissistic supply of a malignant narcissist. The entire planet is the narcissistic supply of this malignancy. So, what does that say? How is this even allowed to go on? Oh, I mean, the priorities can't be clearer. Of course, it's distract from the Epstein files, distract from the missing 53 pages where he's been credibly accused, and there's, the FBI doesn't go and interview people 3 times because there's nothing there. There's no there. We all know what Traitor Trump is. We all know if Jeffrey Epstein gave him or gifted him a pretty girl and said, have at it, booby. You think Traitor Trump wouldn't partake in that? Wouldn't assault that girl? Of course he would. Because it's all about feeding that insatiable black hole that he has. That pit where we normal people have a personality, have emotions, where he's got nothing there. This is a sick person. They're very sick people. Trump is sick. The entire Republican Party is sick. And we witnessed another example of it. Why are the corporate media enabling this? And who are they? That's what got me. Were the people laughing? What are you laughing at, you piece of shit? All of you, you crowd of shit. 6 Americans are dead. And the girls, they bomb a girls' school in Iran. Oh, because the regime is so horrible, right? Like, we're all fucking fools here. We know what's going on, and this is a quagmire. Iran is not Iraq. But they don't give a shit. 6 Americans are dead. And it brings me back to this photo of Traitor Trump. And not that one. Where's the other one? That one too. Because you think Barron is going to put on the uniform? That's for suckers, right? Suckers and losers. But where's that other one? Hold on. Wait a second. So many buttons to navigate through. Not that one, not that one. This one. Right? Well, I remember this when that happened during the campaign. And for those who are listening audio only, it's Traitor Trump and I guess a family of maggots whose relative died in combat or service, and they're standing over this person's grave with a thumbs up in Arlington National Cemetery. Who the fuck stands on the grave of a fallen service member and gives a goddamn thumbs up? Right? When I saw that, I remember during the campaign, I'm like, how can anybody vote for that? How can this family vote for that? How could they participate in a photo like that? Just how do you stand at the grave of your family member and fucking smile with a baboon and give a thumbs up? What are you thumbs upping? Their needless, senseless death? What are you thumbs upping? What are you smiling about, you bunch of grinning ghouls? I mean, I can understand if that were Putin or America's enemies because they want more dead Americans, but it's baffling. It shouldn't be the American president standing on the grave of a fallen service member with a thumbs up. How sick do you have to be to stand there? Not only stand there with the thumbs up, and then there's this social contagion where the family members have to stand there with a thumbs up too. What are you fucking thumbs upping? That your relative is dead? You lost your sister, your aunt, your mother, who knows? Why are you smiling with this freak? Look at this. Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you're a traitor. Thumbs up if you're a baboon. Thumbs up. And these kids there. What are you? Look at this lady here with the kid. With the cocked hips. Hey. Something cool happened here. Death. Dead. My dead sister. My dead aunt. My dead, I don't know. My dead cousin. Woo! What the effing hell is wrong with America? And that's what I'm talking about when people are like, Trump's your president. Mega. You got a mental illness, buddy. And you need help. You know, remember for years, maggots, before they were called maggots, they were teabaggers. They would, they were always, wait, hold on, I'm getting a fucking problem here again. Anyway, I'm losing one of my hard drives. I need a new hard drive. Anyway, well, thank you, patrons, because that will help with my pay for a new hard drive. Anyway, yeah, I don't get it. I just lost my train of thought. So, how do you vote for that? How do you allow this? It's like a vampire, right? You let a vampire into your house. You got to invite them in, and they don't leave until they've sucked the life out of you. That's what is happening in the United States. That's what these maggots have done to us. And to post, I mean, and that's all you have. You're taking satisfaction out of what? What are you getting out of this? Oh, ICE, I guess. It's just validation that these people, that Republicans are an irredeemable cult, and they need to go away. They need to go the way of the Whigs. They need to be smashed into history's trash bin. And the Traitor Trump doing his curtains and ballroom rant, it just crystallizes everything that's wrong. He can lovingly describe the weave and color of his ballroom curtains, while 6 Americans are dead in a war of choice, an illegal war of choice that he launched without congressional approval. This is the other thing. What the fuck is going on? The president is not supposed to be able to just launch a war. This is not supposed to happen. They don't, and the fact is, they don't even feel that they need to make a case anymore. You remember the run-up to the Iraq war, that debacle. That went on for a year. Colin Powell at the UN, disgracing himself with lies. George W. Bush going coast to coast, lying. Weapons of mass destruction. Tried to kill my dad. But they don't feel the need to even put up a case anymore, because what is it? We're suckers and losers. We're all the suckers and losers now. So we don't get health care. We don't have retirement security. Americans are losing their jobs. Unemployment is up. The people can't afford shit, right? I miss my Biden eggs. Do another video about how eggs are expensive, J.D. Vance. Remember that? He was holding 2 dozen eggs, and he was saying a dozen eggs are, because they count on the stupidity of their maggot voters. He's made a video saying how a dozen eggs were the price of 2 dozen eggs, I guess. And, oh, what a horror, what a horror. We had lowest unemployment in decades. We weren't at war with Iraq. Inflation was finally under control, this worldwide problem. But, oh, it was awful. What an awful time. But it's just gaslighting all the time. Gaslighting, constant lies. They have nothing. Republicans, I mean, I wish I was wrong. I've been saying it for years. They offer nothing. Hold on a second. And the other thing, so we have to keep it tight here on Tarabuster on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I wrote an article at the Political Voices Substack. Take a moment, please, to subscribe to my Substack. You can just swipe that QR code in the corner there. And you won't be surprised. If you subscribe to the Political Voices Substack, I did a video on it and all that, but we'll just go over it a little bit now. It was just published over there. I'm sure you're not going to be shocked to hear that the war profiteering in real time is happening. You don't even have to wait anymore. It's not even you don't even have to wait. It's instantaneous. The corruption, the turnaround on the corruption. So this, and it's connected completely to Donald Trump Jr., Traitor Tot. Okay, there's I guess a bet. I don't know what they call it. It's called Poly Market. This one thing where you bet on. It's not like cards or gambling traditionally, but you're betting on what will happen in the world. And surprise, surprise, 7 different accounts on Polymarket made over $1.5 million with precise bets that the when Iran would be attacked. So, and it's not, and it's, you know, it's not luck. These were 7 different accounts, and the watchdogs flagged these bets because they were so precise. These were accounts that were crypto accounts, of course, so they're untraceable. That's why Traitor Trump loves crypto now. At first he said, oh, it's cheating, it's fraud. Yes, it is. That's why the world's drug dealers love it, and Putin loves it. All of the world's most corrupt, criminal, nefarious actors, of course, the pedophiles love it, because it can't be traced. And this, so this market, not only is it's not about, you know, FOMO, where Donald Trump Jr., Traitor Tot, had the fear of missing out on a really good grift here. He's on the advisory board of Polymarket. And these accounts, 7 different accounts, opened on the day, within a 24-hour window of the attack. All right, and hours before the attack, these accounts put they call it contracts. They put a contract on, yes, that the Americans would attack Iran. And another account named MAGA My Man actually put a side bet on the fact that the supreme, Iranian leader, whatever his dumbass was, that he would be assassinated, that he would be killed in these attacks. And he made $500,000 on his bet. So you can't tell me this is a coincidence, of course. And guess what? You won't be surprised. Now, before Traitor Trump slithered back into office, there were investigations into Polymarket. The I can't say that word. The Justice Department, the Injustice Department now, and the pathetic Justice Department before, I suppose, because Traitor Trump should be in jail. The Justice Department and and another, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was another government group had investigations into Polymarket. And I'm sure you won't be surprised to know that soon as Traitor Trump got back into office, these investigations went away. So corruption, and they don't have anybody looking after, or there's no watchdogs uncovering corruption in the crypto markets, because Traitor Trump is up to his fucking disgusting rash on his neck with corruption in the crypto markets. So you can't tell. What the fuck am I trying to say? I can't even speak now. It's the corruption is so disgusting. Gone are the days of FDR, right? FDR, when we went into World War II, there were laws against war profiteering. And FDR said there will be not a single war millionaire made during this crisis, because we had some standards back then. But now the only standard is what you can do for yourself and your cronies. These maggots, Traitor Trump and the maggot maladministration, they shut down. In fact, I'm looking it up now. It was 2 federal probes into Polymarket that began under that terrible, horrible Joe Biden. That we had some standards. And then the Polymarket itself is defending itself. It's saying that, oh, well, we're We're just people predicting what will happen. And it just so happens that 7 of them, 7 what seems to be insiders, made a very precise bet on classified information that the Congress didn't even have. Okay? And the other thing about this, how these prediction markets, the other thing that happened was it seemed very coordinated. And because they opened their accounts at the same time, they made the bets at the same time, and then they cashed out at the same time. So, but how do you know? How can we know? There's no investigations anymore. We have no standards. There's no watchdog. So it's smash and grab time on the blood of American soldiers. And why not? Losers and suckers. Send Barron. Where the fuck is Barron? Because they don't even have to pretend anymore. And this is what this poly market thing is all about. They don't have to pretend anymore that war isn't a racket. Right? Like Smedley Butler said. War is a racket. They're not even putting up any kind of front. Right? It's the corruption is the point at this point. And American soldiers, it doesn't matter. Taxpayer money, who cares? That's for him. That's like mad money for Trump. That's his play money. It's monopoly money for him. It's stupid money. It's our money. Get a job. Go fucking die. Go on GoFundMe. It doesn't matter. Profit for a few is the only value. And government, if this government is so stupid and run, and there are so many Americans that are this dumb, I guess we deserve what we get. Honestly. We deserve to have this happen to us because we allowed it to happen. We let these vampires into our house, and they're not going to leave until they suck the life out of us. It's true. That's how it works. And if we don't do what is required in this moment, shame on us. Shame on us all. Because I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of the lies, the maggotry, the performance. And I'm sure you saw Hillary Clinton's deposition or whatever they call it. I don't remember, what was it called? These fucking clowns questioning Hillary Clinton, where she ran circles around them. They're embarrassing. While they're asking her about Pizzagate and UFOs and Lauren, that band from the bowling alley, 3-time failed GED, try-hard loser, is questioning Hillary Clinton. When Hillary Clinton, what is it about Hillary Clinton that they just couldn't stand, right? Well, which brings me to, because we only have 15 more minutes left of the show. I can't believe it. Well, let's get to another disgrace that the United States in the decline of the American experiment is trophy wife number 3 presiding over a UN meeting at the UN. What the fuck is this? I couldn't believe what I was saying. Let's play a little clip of it. Let's see. It's unreal. Wait a minute.
So we'll now begin its consideration of item 2 of the agenda. I now give the floor to Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo.
Good afternoon. Oh, here we go. Come on. Get to the point here.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, right.
The 10th.
That's what you say. How could it be good with you maggots running into our halls of power. Ugh.
10,113
The what? The 10,000?
10,113 meeting of the Security Council is called to order.
Oh.
I would like to take this opportunity to pay tribute on behalf of the Council to the delegation of the United Kingdom
What the fuck is happening?
for its service as President of the Council for the month of February.
Is this real life?
I'm sure I speak for all members
No, you
of
don't
the
speak
Council
for me.
in expressing deep appreciation to the entire United Kingdom team for the great diplomatic skill with which they conducted the Council's business last month.
What the fuck is happening?
The provisional agenda for this meeting is
Is?
maintenance of international
Look
peace
under
and
your
security,
seats.
children, technology, and education in conflict. The agenda is adopted.
Where am I?
In accordance with the Rule 39 of the Council's Provisional Rules of Procedure, I invite Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo,
Please,
Undersecretary
mercifully,
General
anybody,
of Political
take over.
and Peace-Building Affairs, to participate
I
in
mean,
this.
who are these people behind her, too? That's the other thing when I was watching this. They look like they're trying not to laugh at certain points. It's a disgrace. What is this? So the maggots are all saying, well, this is historic. The third trophy wife of a tax-cheating, draft-dodging, wannabe dictator con man with a fake university, a multi-level marketing vitamin scam, a history of sexual assault, who's all over the Epstein files, and just sent Americans to die in an illegal war based on nothing but the fact that he's in the Epstein files, just gave trophy wife number 3 the power to preside over a UN Security Council meeting. Now, I'm old enough to remember the maggots when they were called teabaggers going off on Hillary Clinton for daring. You know, she's only the first lady. Who the fuck is she? She should go do, girly things. And she shouldn't be involved in Bill Clinton's presidency. Remember, they called her the co-president, like it was a negative thing, and how she shouldn't have her hands in health care, and she's just too big for her britches. She wears the pants in the family, that kind of shit. Well, at least she wasn't a nude model, third trophy wife of a con man. Right? A disco-prowling con man who shared so-called wonderful secrets with a convicted pedophile for 20 years. And this bitch comes here on an Einstein visa with, what's her skill? We are supposed to think she speaks 7 languages. And I've done many a show on that, how she doesn't speak 7 languages. She barely speaks English, of course. She speaks her own language. And she don't speak 7 languages. If she speaks 7 languages, I speak 7 languages. I could say buongiorno too. I could say fucking hola too. Hola. See, look, I could speak Korean. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Huh? There I am. I speak Korean. I speak Spanish. I speak French. I speak Italian. Buongiorno. Buongiorno is a brand, right? Spaghetti and meatballs. Right? Marinara sauce. She speaks fucking nothing. Why is she why doesn't she speak to everybody in their native tongue? She's so fluent in 7 languages, but that's what they all say, that we're all supposed to be gaslit into, but it's just like we're gaslit into everything else. It's all about, what, does she speak 7 languages? We get to a point where I guess she speaks 7 languages, whatever. It's all fucking performance. You know why? Because speaking 7 languages, learning 7 languages would be too hard. That's too hard to actually do, you see. So, who wants to go through the work of learning to speak 7 languages? You just lie about it. And that's all they have are the lies. Just lie about it if you want them to be impressed. Oh, you speak 7 languages. Okay. No one ever follows up on it. Now, you tell me, if Hillary Clinton went around saying, I speak 7 languages, you don't think the corporate media would be up her ass about it? Speak 7 languages. Give us the 7 languages. Give us the translation of, Julius Caesar's Adventures in Gaul. Right? Give us that. The translation of Machiavelli's The Prince in 7 languages. That's what they would do. And then there would be rolling, breaking news alerts about how when Hillary Clinton met someone who spoke French and didn't speak, she needed a translator. No, that's trophy wife number 3. That when world leaders meet her who think that she speaks 7 languages, one of them, for example, they think is French, and they start speaking in French, she don't know what the fuck they're saying. She's got to get the translator. And then it happened with the Italian, too. When the Pope started speaking to her, the former Pope, the one who died or whatever, he started speaking to her in what he thought a language she understood. And she didn't know what the hell he was saying, so she needed a translator. I don't know. That doesn't seem like you're speaking 7 languages to me. But it's not even about that. It's just that goes to who they are. The whole con, the whole grift. Because it's too hard. It's like Traitor Trump. They're all cheaters. Just like what happened with Polymarket. They're just fucking cheaters that want to grift. They want to get it quick and fast and easy. And who cares who dies? We're all suckers. That's how they separate the world into suckers and losers and them. We're all suckers and losers now. And that's why Traitor Trump raped a child, because she's a sucker and a loser. When Jeffrey Epstein, it's her fault that she was trafficked to this horrible pedophile, and who knows what world she came from, what her house was like, what her home life, the abuse that went on. But, that's their problem, not the problem of the masters of the universe. So she's just fuel to be used by those who deserve it, like Ayn Rand said. That's their hero, right? Another hero. All their heroes are horrors. All their heroes are monsters, right? All their heroes are sociopaths. But, the degradation of the United States just keeps moving, it's progressing apace, and putting Melania Trump on the UN to preside over a United Nations Security Council meeting is a joke. She's a joke. She can't speak. She doesn't connect with people. And all I hear are how on the maggot world, on Twitter, how historic, what a great first lady. Just keep gaslighting. Keep telling yourself that. And if you really think that, you should really take a chill, right? And get a grip, get some help. Because if she had a D after her name, you think that their enthusiasm would be so effusive? Not at all. Because there's nothing a Democrat can do that's right. Nothing. Even when they are qualified. Like, who is she? She's not qualified to sit there and preside over anything. This is disgusting. And plus the optics, as she's sitting there talking about peace and children and education, when they're fucking us here, they're murdering us in the streets, they're depriving of Americans of basic human rights and constitutional rights, health care, and firing Americans, they're destroying our bureaucracy that we rely on, that any modern functioning country needs to keep going. We need a bureaucracy. And those jobs should be good jobs that pay living wages that people want to have and keep, that require skill. And they used to, but not anymore, because the maggots hate America. They hate the country. They hate the system the founders fought a revolution to create from the liberal age of enlightenment. They want to make it easier to steal, because in that system, if it was functioning properly, it requires too much decency that they could never muster, that they don't have, they don't possess it. That's why they have to act like infants and babies and Trump's your president. Like, go fuck yourself. And that's why they only see the light when something affects them directly. Right? They only start crying and whining when the sting of the lash of the Republican policies falls on their shoulders. They can never put themselves in somebody else's shoes. That's a sickness too. That's a sickness that Mother Nature doesn't want us to have. That's why we have empathy. Not every creature on this planet has empathy. And I'm talking about other species. Human beings are supposed to have empathy because we are interdependent. We are interconnected. We're supposed to give a shit about each other because together we thrive. Alone we can survive, but together we thrive. But they don't want that, and that's why they act. That's why they're the cancer. They're the cancer in the body politic, sucking up all the resources, destroying everything that they could get their maggot hands on. And even a UN Security Council meeting is denigrated. And this is a serious foreign policy and diplomatic thing. That's what we usually have. Ambassadors, diplomats do these things because we're a serious country, right? We don't send the third trophy wife of a con man who everybody could see naked. If you just Google it right now, you could go look at Melania's boobs. Go look at her in the softcore lesbian porn she did. Don't you feel proud? You feel that red, white, and blue blood pumping when you watch this abomination? When you watch these clowns denigrate our system, denigrate the system? Could you imagine what the founders would say? I made history. Yeah, you could say that. But she did it as the third trophy wife of a soon to be impeached so-called president, and of course children. The way they talk about children. Oh, children, the education. Well, they're cutting education, and they don't give a shit about children here. Infant mortality in this country is a disgrace, thanks to Republicans. While they're blowing up schools, right? They're blowing up children in schools. Because, that's, there's a lot of death. There's death in war, as Traitor Trump says. There's death. Not that he would know, because he doesn't give a shit. Look at my curtains. Look at the curtains. There's death. There's 6 families now that will have an empty seat at the table. 6 families are going to get a letter or a knock on the door. And you think that piece of shit Trump, if he has to call them, you think he will? He got a lot of cheers, though. They really did. What a great person. Everybody said they're the greatest. They're the best. You can't even believe what they said about them. They're so great. Next. The lack of humanity of all. Oh, she made history. This is what the maggots are all about. Oh, she made history as the first lady. If Bill Clinton had done that, if Joe Biden could have put Dr. Jill Biden and you know, she would have at least had the credentials to be there. I mean, and how exactly did she make history? Treating the council as a charade. That's all it is. It's a performance. And the pro-Trump accounts, the maggot, the Russian bots and all, they're gushing about, oh, how elegant. She was so elegant. Look at America's greatness. As she gavels in the body, right, that just condemned, you know, the Iran's illegal war as violating international law. But there's, you know, don't mention it. Trophy wife number 3. The only history being made here is the degradation of the American experiment, right? The degradation of our once good name in the world with this unelected third trophy wife. We all know what she is. She's an embarrassment. Who gives a fuck about Christmas? She don't even give a fuck about Christmas. Those are her words. Who gives a fuck about Christmas? And what is she doing there? And this is the other thing with maggots in general, that it's the mark of insanity, you see. That's why maggotry is a mental illness, because they don't know their limitations. They really don't know. And that is a sign of illness. You know, that's why the old-fashioned, you know, they used to say, someone would jump out the window, you know, I can fly, I'm Superman, I can fly. Like somebody who lost touch with reality. Just jump out the window, look at me, I can fly, and then, right? But that's what they are. That's maggotry in a nutshell. Look at me, I could be the president, look at me. Oh, and even that piece of shit, Traitor Trump, I remember, now that I'm talking about it, he put on this show back in the day. Let me see if I have this. Trump acting presidential. At one of his Nuremberg rallies, he was like, oh, it doesn't take anything to be the president. It doesn't take much. You just got to act presidential. You know, anybody can do that. Yeah, I actually have it here. Anybody can act presidential. Oh, God, it's such a disgrace. That's how they think. That's why, you know, you put up what did they have at Maramoron? They put up a curtain. Anybody could just walk by after perusing through the Maramoron toilets at our current classified information. It's like, oh, okay. Wow. And then you wander by and peek in to the curtain and watch your dear leader acting like a big boy, making a boom boom. Oh, who's the dear leader making a boom boom on now? Wow, look at this. You know, I mean, that's all that's there. That's the skiff. That's a secure skiff. He doesn't even bother. Could you imagine if Biden launched an illegal and unconstitutional war without congressional approval, without public support, from his home in wherever the hell? They were pissed off. He was at fucking Camp David. Or Obama, right? Or did it at Martha's Vineyard. Oh, he can't even come home from vacation. Then we get this baboon in the ball cap, right, over his dead eyes and his rotten flesh. Here, watch this. This was back in the day.
Of course, if the fake news did a poll, they're called suppression polls. You know, polls are fake just like everything else.
I wish I had a poll up your ass.
If the fake news did a poll,
a poll like Melania used to dance on, I guess.
25% with the 401k people, even though they're up 44%.
Yeah, right. Percent
we're doing
gold
well.
curtains,
we're doing well,
like nobody's ever seen.
Well. They just came out with a poll. Did you hear? The most popular person in the history of the Republican Party.
Oh, shut up.
Does that include Honest Abe Lincoln? You know, he was pretty good, right?
Hold
Remember
on.
I said when I'd be a little bit wild and would have a lot of fun, they'd say, he's not acting presidential. And I'd say, well, it's a lot easier to act presidential than to do what I do.
Do what I do.
Anybody can act
Look at these
president.
the baboons. Oh, shut your fucking face. You see what I mean? That's him acting presidential. What a disgrace. Look at all of you disgraceful monsters behind him. Ha ha ha. See? There he is. Now we know. Now we know.
Ladies and gentlemen of the state of Florida, thank you very much for being here. You are tremendous people. And I will leave now because I am boring you to death. Thank you.
Oh, aren't you a charm? Shame on every one of them. Shame on everyone who voted for this. And shame on every Democrat who stayed home. All right, guys, that's it for the show for today. We will have a show on Thursday. We'll see what happens. We have... I don't even like saying that. You see? I say, we see what happens, and I hear that baboon. He says that. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks. Coming in 2 weeks. What's coming in 2 weeks? That's the other thing I can't stand about the corporate media. When Traitor Trump's like, well, I'll let you know in 2 weeks. Why the fuck do they not say, what are you talking about? Everything's coming in 2 weeks, you effing baboon. And then they go on, they'll have on Katie Tur, who drives me up a wall. She's like, well, he said he'll be informing us in 2 weeks. And then they have a conversation about how, well, in 2 weeks, he said he's going to do it in 2 weeks. And we have another one. He's saying now, he's going on about how things are going to happen in 10 days. I guess, he switches it up a little bit. 10 days, 2 weeks. Everything's coming in 2 weeks. We're waiting for the healthcare plan coming in 2 weeks. The 53 missing Epstein pages are coming in 2 weeks. Everything's coming in 2 weeks. And I can't effing take the normalization of it, the enabling. It's all enabling. And that's why thank you so much for being a part of this show, subscribing to the Political Voices Network, subscribing to my Substack. Please subscribe. And if you can, do it on, whatever the hell, the payment. Do it. Pay me. I don't know. Whatever. I hate doing e-begging. If you can subscribe, just subscribe for free. For fuck's sake. And so we can do more shows. And thank you, patrons, our new patrons, Carl and Daniel and Max Roy. Thank you so much, guys. You're the best, and I can't do it without you, and why the fuck would I want to anyway, really? All right, guys, listen, we have supposedly Charles Derber coming on the show on Thursday. We'll see what happens, because he canceled twice before, and that's a real pain in the ass, but we booked him for Thursday, last chance, 3 strikes, you're out. And we'll see what happens. He wrote a book called Fighting Oligarchy. We'll talk to him about that. And we'll see. We'll see what he has to say about the madness that's going on right now all over this planet. Thanks to the baboon. Thanks to this effing baboon who has no business being anywhere in power. And one good thing is he's not looking too good. So let's go blood clot. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. Like and subscribe. You know what to do. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News, for all you do. And I will... we had a great chat. Thank you, Jim, for being a moderator on the chat. Always being an OG Tarabuster. I can't do it without you. And wouldn't want to. So I really appreciate every time you show up for every show. It means so much to me. Thank you so much, Jim. And I will see you on Thursday. But, keep in touch with me on Substack, okay? That's where I'm on Substack most of the time. And I'm going to probably stay there. Even though, I mean, I know, yes, they're evil too now. Where the fuck are we going to go, though? Twitter is a cesspool. It's worse. Twitter is worse. But, yeah. This is why we got to get these billionaires out of our... everything. We got to not have billionaires. We got so much work to do. All right. I'll talk to you later. See ya soon. Thanks, Charlie. See you soon.